Amid looming WNBA clash versus Caitlin Clark, Dallas HC makes expectations clear to Paige Bueckers' company, while Paige Bueckers and company stormed into Chase Center with vigor and quickly dominated the hardwood. All it took was a moment to flip the script. Theoretically holding an upper hand, the Wings faced a depleted Golden State Valkyries roster without their key contributor Kayla Thornton and a roster riding a three-game losing skid. But what could have been an incredible bounce-back transformed into another grim chapter. Call it fate, bad timing, or sheer collapse, the Dallas Wings dropped its 18th loss of the season with a crushing 86-76 defeat. Despite Bueckers' steady offensive presence and her growing mid-range efficiency, the Wings failed to capitalize on the wounded opponent. Talking of injuries, the Dallas Wings roster is set to face Indiana Fever twice next month. While the August 1st matchup has been gaining traction, the August 12th tip-off between the teams will be the most talked about. After all, it will mark Caitlin Clark's post-injury return against Paige Bueckers. But before the teams prepare for Clark's comeback, Wings head coach Chris Cocklanes voiced his expectations from the locker room. Comparing the recent game against the Valkyries, the HC mentioned how Wings could refine their gameplay. One is just grit and desire and toughness to go box people out, Cocklanes revealed in a post-game conference. Technically, we switched a little more this game than we really have, and so that puts our smalls in some different situations battling with some bigger people. And takes you out of maybe perfect rebounding position. Cocklanes explained that the biggest gamble against the Valkyries was when the roster switched positions multiple times. This led to smaller guards defending more powerful opponents. After all, while switching posed threat to the Valkyries, it exposed the hollow vulnerabilities of the Wings. And since tackling bigger, stronger opponents is naturally trickier, the collective roster failed to create ample rebounds or position themselves in a manner where they could receive rebounds. So in those instances, you got to work even harder to go and pursue some rebounds, Chris suggested. So a little bit of combination of both, maybe some of the schemes. But ultimately, I still think rebounding is all about desire. While the HC feels that the team lacks grit and determination to add rebounds, he also warns of changing their strategies before facing bigger Indiana opponents. And with Fever ready to welcome back Clark on the hardwood by August 12th, after she succumbed to a right groin injury, it will be exciting to watch Bueckers face the guard for the second time this season. But before the Wings prepare to reach the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, will they heed the head coach's advice or ignore it completely? As a formidable force on the hardwood, the team might have a tough time against opponents like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell if they ignore Cocklanes' take. Chris Cocklanes is all praise for Golden State Valkyries head coach. Despite establishing a stronghold at the Chase Center Arena, Dallas Wings failed to take the win home. With improved defenses, communication, and trust within the locker room, the Wings had the situation under control. They even managed to pull the stops and restricted the Golden State Valkyries to 30 points in the first half. But what happened next was enough to shock the living daylights of fans and reporters alike. Whether it was Paige Bueckers and Eric Ogunbowale's on-court chemistry or rookies J.J. Quinterly and Isaiah James giving a tough time to the opponent, you name it. The winning team immediately began stuttering in the third quarter, as Valkyries made a whopping 33-24. With combined efforts from opponents Cecilia Zandalicini, Tiffany Hayes, Temi Fagbennel, and Janelle Salon, the Valkyries outran the Wings to snatch a 10-point victory, while the game closed on a shocking note. The Dallas Wings head coach Chris Cocklanes was all praise for Valkyries HC Natalie Nakes. On being asked in a post-game conference if the coach was surprised with the Valkyries' resilience despite Wings' honest attempts to pit them down double digits several times, HC Chris had a sweet reply. Yeah, no, not surprised at all. Natalie is fantastic. She does a great job, Cocklanes said. They've played incredible all year. They're just a feisty team that's very gritty and very connected. So, I wasn't surprised at all with their toughness and their resilience. Praising Nakes' coaching prowess and the team's cohesion, Cocklanes indicated that the Valkyries had a well-knit locker room despite being a newly inducted team. But as the team gears for a showdown against none other than Caitlin Clark, can Dallas Wings clinch a win? With a 1-0 against the Indiana Fever, Cocklanes and his locker room would need to come up with better strategies and work upon their shortcomings to ignite.